team play.
I am also. It's batted around into the hands of the Broncos. Yeah, you're right. You know, they outscored Colorado State 21-8 in the first quarter of their game last night. Important to get out to a quick start. We saw that in game 1 with Nevada playing Fresno State. They got out from the start and they stayed in the game the entire way as it scoops up and good. Brady Hodgins finds a way.
Watch for her to make that move. She doesn't stop her feet. Just when you think as a defender that you're going to get up and over, she's going to continue to make a move. We've seen her do that her entire career.
High to low, Riley Snyder working it down into the interior. And a great look and a finish. It was Immel with the bucket. Good help defense. It's tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with the Broncos.
There's Kaylin Immel, number 32.
And the shot clock did not start, so they will reset. Our officials tonight, Benny Luna, Chuck Gonzalez, and Lisa Jones. Veteran crew out on the floor.
Great crew. All day we've been seeing the great crew.
They have made their way to Vegas.
Along with us. And we came from the same place.
We did.
Los Angeles area. It's that time of year. You know that when the officials are traveling along with you, you're like, yep.
That's right.
By the way, it's a good time to point out that Chris Gobrecht, the head coach of Air Force, talks about how pleased she is with this team and statistically all season long, what they have been doing.
That movement right there by Ashanti Coleman, the redshirt senior out of San Francisco, the transfer from Arizona. And it puts Boise State up by 2. And you're right, you know, Chris Gobrecht in her 5th season as the head coach, she's done an exceptional job in getting the most out of this group. And Tammy, this is a young Air Force team. They have just 3 juniors, no seniors. They're all freshmen and sophomores other than 3 juniors.
You're absolutely right. And she's really pleased with the way that those juniors, those sophomores have been playing. You know, it's just sometimes it's hard to get over the hill, hard to get over the hump, and that's what they've been waiting for. But at no point in time has Chris Gobrecht really ever upset with the way that they've been playing. Just needed to start getting together and have that chemistry a bit.
Nice job by Hodgins to dribble in, draw 2 defenders, and then dish it down to Mallory McGuire.
This is a good start for the Broncos, the start that they were looking for. They know how well Air Force has been playing, and they have the respect for the Falcons given the 2 times that these 2 teams have met.
Immel's shot no good. She's averaging 15 points per game and leads this team. The shot off the mark there by Lupfer, but a long rebound to Hodgins gives them another chance.
Spread out. That is what the Broncos are doing. Look at how much space they want to play with.
The skip all the way across to Riley Lupfer, and the senior leading scorer connects.
Her shot chart has a bunch of red around the 3-point arc. And that means that she's hot from that spot. It doesn't matter if it's the corner, the mid, the top, the other side of the mid, or the other left-hand corner. She can hit it from all places around the arc. Watch out, get out and contest.
It's a 7-0 run for the Broncos, and that silences it. Nikki McDonald, what a great look outside from Autry Thompson.
She's one of these young freshmen for this Falcon team. Very pleased, and she is getting the minutes that she wants.
Tough to stop the size of Ashanti Coleman at 6'2", so long. Averages 11 points a game. That's the thing about the Broncos. They have multiple double-figure scores.
Krista, with that length, you can lob it up there and she can go get it, and then it's hard to block unless you are absolutely in rock-solid defensive position.
She's long, she's athletic, she can jump. Shot just short from Snyder. On the drive, Hodgins gets fouled. She'll go to the stripe.
It's her move. It is absolutely her move. And remember, she is a lefty. She'll give you a little ball flake as they're coming up out of transition. She likes to go ahead and use that ball flake, but she can beat you and hurt you off the bounce. She wants to get to the rim. She knows how to draw the foul. She identifies when her defenders are out of position. She reads help sides very well. She also knows when to give it up and make the pass.
Uncharacteristic missed free throw, 82% free thrower, and she's 1 for 2.
She also can pull up and shoot off the dribble. Not afraid to pull the long ball, but they'll leave a lot of that to Riley Lupfer and Mallory McGuire, who comes out and shoots it from long range.
Speaking of McGuire, she almost got a jump ball or a takeaway as weaving in Autry Thompson. Working it around, quick passing, high, up, in, and out from Riley Snyder, a 38% three-point shooter. Pull-up jumper. How about that from Ashanti Coleman? And Chris Gobrecht wants the timeout. It's been all Boise State after it was 2-2. 6:18 left here in the first quarter as Boise State has extended their lead. Back inside the Thomas & Mack Center here in Las Vegas. Quarterfinal number 3. It's 2-seed Boise State and 7-seed Air Force. And it was close for just a moment in this one, but now the lead extended out by the Broncos as they found some balanced scoring. 6 points for Coleman, Lutfer and Hodgins, 3 points apiece.
They're doing it by going north-south. That's how they're doing it. They're running, and then if they're passing the ball out of the middle of the floor to the perimeter, they're getting back to the middle of the floor and hurting this Air Force team off the dribble.
See if Air Force has some answers after the timeout.
Great move, and a great block by McGuire.
Oh, a little bit of contact, a second chance, and no good. The rebound down to the Broncos and Coleman.
It's a great basketball play at that other end.
Hodgins looking for some help. This is a Broncos team with 5 seniors. You want to talk experience and what that can do for you. The shot just misses. Jade Christopher, redshirt senior, transfer out of Kansas. Again, no seniors for this Air Force team, very young group. And a team that was struggling early on, but they've started to put it together. They won 5 of their last 6 games.
We've seen some young teams in this conference, right? We just saw UNLV play. They're very young. Graduated a lot of talents. You know, sometimes that's just the way that it goes.
Shot clock down to 1, and a shot clock violation. A good defensive sequence for the Broncos, forcing that turnover. This Boise State team has 5 seniors right now. When they all graduate, it's going to be a whole different looking team. And Gordy Presnell, in his 15th season as a head coach, has 7 freshmen coming in next year. 7. A lot of teaching.
There'll be teaching moments in the gym.
From the professor, Gordy Presnell.
Right. What is undeniable about this senior team, and you would expect to see this from a Gordy Presnell team because this is what he believes in, and this is how you win when you have the talent that he does on his roster, is that they're very well balanced. There's some pretty good percentages across the board in terms of usage rate for each individual player. Coleman, McGuire, Lavelle, Bowers, Hodgins.
Shot clock was down to 10. The kick puts it right back to 20. A great opportunity for Air Force. Some substitutions are coming in. Cassidy Huffman, 55 in blue for Air Force. Broncos also making their way to the court. 0 Haley Jones in blue for Air Force. And a quick shot and straight through. That's what Riley Snyder's been trying to do, the sophomore who averages 14 points a game.
She's last year's 2019 Mountain West Conference all-freshman team. 29 games with 26 starts. No surprise to see her in as a sophomore. Major minutes for her this season. They got to have her contribute, and it's good that she can contribute from long range as they play catch-up here.
Boy, and a takeaway. She was out running this time, and they were trying to lob it up, but just too much on it. The turnover sends it the other direction. Sierra Winters also in number 3 in blue for Air Force. And the Broncos have also gone to their bench. Ellie Warner, 22 in white, checked in, as well as Rachel Bowers, 25 in white. Looper off the back of the rim. Rebound down to Haley Jones. Raylan Immel brings it up. She was the Mountain West Freshman of the Year a couple of seasons ago. This year, part of the All-Mountain West team. Miscommunication. This defensive overplay defense by the Broncos, forcing a couple of turnovers back-to-back.
Well, and I'll tell you, Air Force looks just a slight bit timid. They don't look like the team that we saw playing against Colorado State, where they took control right out of the gates, and a team in Air Force that has been hot as of late. When you just take a look at their record and what they've done, their last 8 games, Krista, they're 5-3 against some good teams. Not the least of which is they were one of only 2 teams in this league to beat Fresno State. They did that on February 19th. Yeah. And that was a pretty big quality win, 88-65.
The spin move in the lane for the sophomore Jade Lavelle, but it goes out of bounds, so Air Force will get it back. Trying to find an opening. Haley Jones, left baseline, good. The lefty, the sophomore out of Torrance, California. Boise State, who started out 3 of their first 4 shots. There's a takeaway by Immel. Looks left, goes right. Oh, somehow it ends up in the hands of Jones. It's batted around Immel. Can she get it back out? She does. A 3 that fell earlier by Snyder. That one not the case. That would have been a big bucket. It would have made a big difference with this 4-point game. Oh, the Broncos out running, and an open layup for Bowers, no good.
So that break and that timeout that Chris Gobrecht called a little while ago, they go in and they're getting beat down the floor, and they come out. And they've been the ones that are running and gunning. They've been pushing, so they've flipped the script just a tad. They're back in this with just a 4-point deficit. They don't look as timid anymore, if you will.
When Boise State started out, they hit 3 of their first 4 shots. They've missed their last 5 shots now. And the shot clock down to 2. Air Force has to get a shot off. They do, and it's the miss by Jones.
That's not the shot you want to take if you're the Falcons, but great defense. Credit the Broncos for really shoring things up. They were playing tight D, denying me pass to several of their offensive players.
Jade Lavelle trying to make something happen, penetrates in, gets knocked to the court with 1:50 left in the first quarter. It's a 4-point lead by the Broncos.
Things might change right here quickly for the Broncos with Hodgins back in, only because she is that creator player that gives her team a lift, a senior leader.
The Broncos have been scoreless for quite some time now. Let's see if they can do something here. Looper, again, too much on it. Rebound down to Air Force. That foul was against Haley Jones, her first. Autry Thompson, nowhere to go. The help D, a good one, as Bowers able to take it away. Looper will get fouled. They'll say by Sierra Winters.
One thing for Air Force is they go down and they want to run and they get in the paint, they get to the low block, but then the defense is there and then they pick up their dribble and they've got no outlet pass. And that's what causes those high hands of Boise State. They know that they can get tips and run the other way, and that's the last couple trips down the floor. That's what they've been able to achieve.
Got some good minutes from Bowers as the first free throw is good for Riley Looper. Those are the first points since it was 6:17 mark. It's been a while for them. Came out red hot. She gets them both.
Riley Looper has one of the strongest true field goal percentages on the team and effective field goal percentages on the team, which means she's a very good shooter from 2s, from 3s, and the free throw line, and you've seen that early on already.
5 points for Looper. There's Aaliyah Marlette. She's checked in, the freshman from Aurora, Colorado, full 22 in blue. Marlette skims it off the rim. A long rebound. Emily Conroe back out, number 13 in blue. She got the start. And maybe a tie-up, and yep, they'll say yes, it was. It's going to go the other direction. Good defense getting back by Autry Thompson.
I like the way that Hodgins, again, trying to push things, but there's the tie-up. Great D, no foul, played that clean. Autry Thompson just at 5'5", not afraid to go up against the 5'8" senior Hodgins. Great D.
Under a minute left in the first quarter. Boise State up 6. Marlette guarded by Lupfer. Tries to get a little room, and she'll get fouled, and she'll get to the free throw line.
She tries to make a secondary move. I like how she stayed in that play. She's just a freshman from Aurora, Colorado, so this is a big stage for her. Her first Mountain West Conference tournament, not backing down from the incredible defense from the Broncos. I think the Broncos have been, you know, their length really hurts their opponents in terms of their sight lines, but Marlette goes right at her. And then how about this? Stepping up at the free throw line and keeping this thing close at the end of the first.
Gets them both. 61% free thrower. Makes it look easy.
Oh, that's a beautiful flash by McGuire.
Oh, my goodness.
It's miss. I love the action by McGuire with Hodgins.
She got pushed out just a little bit, and it didn't look as though she had the right angle. And then right in the face by McGuire, her first personal. Autry Thompson to the stripe.
McGuire wants that one back. That was an easy drop step layup. Great pass on the outside from Hodgins, and maybe just turned and was too wide open.
No free throws, not quite in the bonus, and she wasn't shooting. So they'll get the inbound and get a chance, and that one bounces off the top of the backboard. A second opportunity, great hustle by Aaliyah Marlette, who's checked in. This freshman making things happen.
Well, she's 5'9", she has good size, and some of the players that she's going against in terms of their defensive rebounding, she's trying to mix it up on the offensive end of the glass and get those second chance opportunities. She is an athlete, Krista. 3-time track and field, 2-time basketball state champ. High achieving student who's not Air Force Academy, but National Honor Society.
They're all pretty good there.
Yep, 3-time academic letter winner. I'm embarrassed of putting up my academic resume next to theirs.
Come on. Well, she's doing very well from the free throw line. Now perfect 4 of 4 is Marlette. She just brought a spark off the bench for this Air Force team.
She's solid, strong.
Full court pressure. 15.6 left in the first quarter. 2-point lead for the Broncos.
Marlette's job is to deny Lupfer a catch and shoot opportunity. She's going to deny her a touch if she can.
Easier said than done. Multiple screens. Lupfer gets the shot off. Bodies flying in with 1.7. And a heave from midcourt is just short, and that's going to do it for quarter number 1. Number 2 seed Boise State hanging on to a 2-point lead over 7 seed Air Force. Quarter 2 for you right after this. ready for the start of the second quarter here in the Thomas & Mack Center. Third quarterfinal matchup of the day here in the Mountain West Women's Basketball Championship. And it's a close one and a good one. 2-seed Boise State up by 2 over 7-seed Air Force. Krista Blunt. Tammy Blackburn with you. What'd you see in that one, Tammy?
Well, what I like is that this is an Air Force team that came back out of that called timeout by Chris Gobrecht, and they are now making it a game, right? Boise State would have liked to have tried to make an additional run into the run that they already had and really pull away early and put Air Force Falcons in a very vulnerable position. But the Falcons responded, as they have done so many times this season, to come back. And here we are at the beginning of the second quarter. We have ourselves a game, and look at this.
Well, these hustle plays made the difference for certain for Air Force in that first quarter, because they only shot at 25% compared to 37% from Boise State, and yet they were only down by 2. Now you see the steal, and there's a turnover the other direction. Boise State getting out and running, thanks in part to Brady Hodgins, senior, Pasco, Washington. Air Force with 6 turnovers now, 4 for Boise State. Whistle away from the ball.
I'll tell you where the foul's going to go. This is going to go on Jade Christopher, number 23, because she could not get around Emily Conroy. Emily Conroy is 5'10", but she is rock solid. She has the most broad shoulders I have ever seen, and you cannot get around her. And she did an early post-up on Christopher, and that was nicely done for them to try to expose that weakness there. We knew that she was out of position.
Just saw the steal by Brady Hodgins. She has 5 points for the Broncos. And now swarming defense as well, as able to get the shot off with Snyder, but it's tipped out. It's going to stay with Air Force. Maggie Freeman will check in, redshirt freshman from Beaverton, Oregon, redshirted last season, averaging a couple points a game. Conroe, guarded by Freeman, the skip across the baseline, nice ball fake. Oh, they're gonna wave off the bucket by Riley Snyder. The help D coming over and drawing the charge.
Great read, and she knew that her teammate had been beat. You gotta be there early if you're gonna be the second line of defense. On that help side there, you gotta position, you gotta get your feet set. That's the biggest, toughest challenge to do, is to get there early enough to get your feet set and pick up that call.
Jade Christopher. Oh, and high, low, the angle not quite there. Maggie Freeman saying, my bad.
You want that angle, you dribble about 3 steps to the right, down toward the right-hand corner, and then you have a little bit of a better angle, and guess what, Coleman? All you got to do is throw it up there towards the rim. She's a rim getter. She'll go get it at 6'2".
Conroe gets it to Immel. Skips it out, high archer, straight up, straight through Nikki McDonald, the freshman out of Chicago. Gets a 3. No stopping Jade Christopher. She was taking it coast to coast, and she gets fouled.
The Broncos are very well aware that the Air Force Falcons have answers. And, you know, they're digging in deep defensively, and they're doing what they can. But Air Force is working well without the ball. And their patience is really what is getting to Boise State just a bit. But the ability for them to get open in space, hit the player that's open, and take a shot and be as efficient as they are. This is where Air Force really has been successful throughout this year. They have had to make up a couple of deficits throughout the year, Krista. And this is what we've been told by this team. They fight, they grind, they fight. Their patience offensively is where they shine.
2 free throws for Jade Christopher, and it extends the lead back up to 3. Tough break, pass to Autry Thompson off the mark, and a takeaway by Boise State. Autry Thompson in there with the trees, and they tried to give it to her. And just a little too physical is Autry Thompson.
First point of contact there. You got to give the offensive player the room to move there.
She was right up all over Jade Christopher. It's a second personal on Audrey Thompson. Sierra Winters back in. Good topside D, hand in the passing lane by Emily Conroe. And Conroe way up in front of everybody. She didn't realize it had been held up a bit. They couldn't get it to her. I love the hustle by the junior out of Fredericksburg, Virginia. She had 10 points, 11 boards in her win last night against Colorado State, and also 4 steals. There's another block by McGuire.
Yeah, McGuire, that's what she does. She's that shot blocker down in the paint. She's protecting the rim. And that's just a tough ask of Freeman and another, excuse me, not Freeman, but Emily Conroe to be able to go up 5'10". Conroe going up against 6'5". McGuire.
High to low, aggressive drive by Snyder.
Oh, look at Conroe, wide open underneath the weak side basket. They didn't see her.
Trying to make a play, Riley Snyder, the sophomore. She gets fouled. First free throw, or first foul, excuse me, on Maggie Freeman. She'll take a seat as Looper will check back in. Looper loses Snyder, and Snyder makes her pay.
Well, and I thought Snyder was going to change her shot because of McGuire coming out to block that shot. Block that shot almost happened. Wow, Coleman.
Shanti Coleman getting it done inside and out.
I feel like the Broncos, they really have a chemistry about them that is very fluid. The continuity in which they run their offense, they have awareness. And they have spatial awareness and personnel awareness, too. They know where their teammates are. They can comfortably pass it there.
9 points for Ashanti Coleman. They just have a calmness, that experience that they bring with these veterans.
Leadership, yep.
High to low, block. It was Winters trying to go up against the bigs. Draw the D, dish it off. Coleman gets this work done inside this time.
Coleman's having herself an evening. She really is. She's getting down the floor. She's doing the work.
Air Force was hanging right in there, and now the Broncos get out running. Snyder guarded by Looper. Trying to find some space, needs some help, and a miscue right to McGuire. Just too much momentum on that drive by Christopher. Oh, and the over back call, and Emil's gonna talk with Lisa Jones, the official. She thought it was tipped by Boise State, but instead she touched it and came back across. We'll take a timeout as well. We've got a good one here with 4:51 remaining in the second. at the Thomas & Mack Center, second quarter. 7-seed Air Force and 2-seed Boise State. And Boise State with a 6-point lead with 4:51 left. Having a good time in the stands. It's Buster the Bronco.
Because his jersey says so.
That's right. Or she, I'm not sure.
Krista, would you have known
Could
that
be a
if Buster was not properly just painted on the back of the jersey? Would you have known that?
Oh yeah,
I believe you.
I know all the mascots too.
I believe you do.
Oh, out of the timeout, high to low, Ashanti Coleman adding to her totals. She's in double figures. 13 points, 6 of 7. Oh goodness. Boise State, 14 points in the paint compared to 4 for Air Force. And fast break points and a takeaway, the steal. Coleman out running. Oh, she is feeling it.
It's hot. Here's where Boise State has the opportunity to pull away. Now, Air Force needs a little run in them, right? They got to get a bucket here.
They've got to stop the Boise State 9-0 run. And a 10-point lead, the largest of the game for the Broncos. Camry Heath's checked in, 10 in blue. Shot clock down to 2. She's got to take it off the front of the rim. It's tough for the freshman who just checked in.
Well, Boise State isn't taking the ball out of the net enough, and that means the Falcons aren't scoring, and they just are one and done. Boise State grabbing the ball off the rim. They're running. They're putting that pressure on Air Force. And, you know, a little buckle right here under some pressure here. Not terrible. I think Emily Conroe, number 13 for the Air Force Falcons, been a little bit frustrated. She's working hard. She's trying to find a mismatch in terms of size and post up, not getting the ball in the low post enough. And hey, credit Boise State for forcing Air Force to take off-balance poor shots.
Yep, they have. They have definitely forced Air Force to do some things that they don't want to do.
Yeah, they're not in rhythm on their shots. Yeah. They're not rhythm shots.
Sierra Winters throws it up, hoping for some contact and a foul. Not going to get it as Ellie Warner was right there. Looper, high archer, straight through. She's got that funky little side spin on her shot, but she's so consistent.
That lefty there, she's absolutely so good. Listen, you could call this team what we used to say old school, right? Run and gun. The Broncos doing exactly just that.
8 points for Looper.
And they're just defending the handoffs. They're switching, they're communicating very well. You know, Air Force is not tricking the Broncos.
Again, the shot clock was down to 1, and there's a great second effort by Haley Jones, and she gives it back to Winters again, who can't hit it.
Yeah, that's a tough miss off the front of the rim there. You got to go hard all the way.
Excuse me, that was Heath that missed it. Sierra Winters saying, listen, I didn't miss that shot.
Correct the announcer.
But her teammate did, and so Camry Heath calling out the play. With 2 minutes remaining in this first half, Air Force needs a bucket. Winters, there you go. That is old school. Scoop it up with the left hand.
Here you go, Sierra. That's a 5'7" sophomore right there, pulling that excellent move right out of the hat. And then unfortunately at the other end, they're too quick. Krista, they're too quick. And they're getting down there. Air Force can't even get set in their defense.
Jade Christopher getting it done. This pace, this tempo favoring Boise State. They're a team that wants to run, but they don't want it to become a full-on track meet either. And so some of these matchups in the seedings, I think Gordy Presnell pretty happy with what things turned out in the brackets for them.
They're just not wasting any time going north to south, and he has the bench to do it. Think about the...
It's a good drive by Sierra Winters. Couldn't get the finger roll, but second effort by Aaliyah Marlette.
Gordy Presnell can go big lineup, he can go mid-size lineup, he can go small. No matter what lineup is on the court, they're running up and down the hardwood just as fast. The level of play not dropping whenever Gordy Presnell substitutes.
He's got about a 9-player rotation.
And he's using every bit of it.
Yeah, not a ton of depth, but just enough.
To travel, right? Or it's got to be either 3 seconds or a walk.
Yep, the 3-second call. The turnover to Air Force. sends it the other way with 1:05 left in the first half. 13-point lead for 2-seed Boise State.
Oh, she doesn't
So
pick up
tough.
her dribble. She doesn't pick up her dribble until she gets to the rim.
You got to find a way, if you're Air Force, to stop her on the drive, and somebody's just got to step in front of her somehow, some way. Easier said than
Chris,
done.
it's been a signature move for her entire career.
Yeah.
That's what Hodgins has done so well.
Trying to post inside, good topside D by the Broncos, and now they push.
Oh, nice handles by Lavelle. Love watching her handle the ball, so smooth. 5'10" sophomore. Lavelle, a player who's been quiet in this first half.
Almost a takeaway by Snyder. Looper with the shot clock winding down at a defender interface. Wow.
She has 11. She's now in double figures with that three. She's 3 of 7 from downtown. She has only taken threes. That's about what you can expect.
And with the clock winding down, it was all Emil could do to get the shot off. And that's how things finish up here at the break. Jesse Kurtz and Bridget Howard, they've got our halftime show. Big time lead here for 2-seed Boise State. She now has set a new Mountain West single season record, and she's sitting with 251 assists and counting.
Don't you love when records are broken in tournament time in March? We saw RJ Wade for UNLV break a double-double record that was not easily broken. Linda Froelich, one of the best players in the nation, much less at UNLV, and RJ Wade actually broke that record earlier. So we're being treated to some excellent basketball. Congratulations to Jade Christopher on that record.
Yeah, definitely so. Quarter 3 underway. We'll see if Air Force can go on a run again, as there's a nice cut without the ball, and it's Emil getting the first points of this half.
A diagonal cut there, and anytime you can cut to the basket and really beat your defender, kind of throws the defender flat on her feet.
Coleman to readjust into the hands of Snyder. Emil, baseline double team even, and she's able to fade away and stick it.
Great start for Air Force. This is the way they started against Colorado State, but you give up a cherry pick at the other end, and now you're just swapping buckets. And Boise State would be satisfied with that.
17 points for Ashanti Coleman. Redshirt senior, averages 11 points a game, well above that.
I was shocked to know that as much as Gordy Presnell went to his bench, that out of the 10 players, or 9 or 10 players that played in the first half for Boise State, only 5 of them scored. It felt to me that a lot more players scored than just 5.
Yeah.
But you had 2 in double figures, Lutfer and Coleman.
Yeah, I felt the same way. Lutfer rattles it around, out, long rebound. Tipped out of bounds. It's going to stay with Boise State. McGuire kept that alive. Emil got the shot on the other end. She has 8 points, as Conroe's going to get a breather. It felt like more Broncos were involved in that first half. Trying to draw some contact was Autry Thompson. They're not going to give it to
Chuck
her.
Gonzalez did not fall for that, did he? He said, that's a flop.
We play on, and the bucket good.
Good try, Autry Thompson.
For Christopher. High archer. McDonald shot no good. Here comes Jade Christopher once again. Oh, so quick with the ball in her hands. Oh, did not finish. Went up with the right hand instead of the left and jammed it up between the backboard and the rim. Oh, almost a takeaway.
So late on that pass, and that's just how quick. Look at Hodgins stepping into that passing lane, and Boise State is not taking their foot off the pedal. They want to run. They know that Air Force cannot hang with them.
Excellent.
16-point lead because of it.
The defensive rotation you referenced just coming around, and it'll put Coleman to the stripe. The foul was on McDonald, her first.
There's help side and there's help the helper, right? Hodgins knows and understands help, and she knows helping the helper.
Chris Gobrecht, just saw her in her 5th season. There's the the head coach at Air Force. She's really done some nice things. I mean, this is a team with 7 wins in conference play. It's been quite some time since we've seen Air Force doing what they've been able to do.
Well, Chris Gobeck has been coaching for 40 years. She's coached at just about everywhere: Cal State, Fullerton, University of Washington, Florida State, USC, Yale. Now with this stop at Air Force, she's a graduate, 1977 of USC, 2-time Pac-10 at the time, Coach of the Year.
Thompson kick out, shot short by McDonald. Here come the Broncos.
Brody Presnell, coaching.
Yeah.
30-plus years.
Exactly. 15 seasons as the head coach for Boise State.
18 at Seattle Pacific and D2 prior to that.
He was the Mountain West Coach of the Year last year, his first time.
Well-deserved.
Yep,
Well-deserved. It was a team that had incredible balance. In fact, last year's team reminds me a lot of this year's team, with the balanced scoring, the way they share the ball, the way they pass and rebound, statistically evenly spread out throughout that stat sheet.
4 starters back from a team that won the Mountain West Tournament Championship last year. They lost in the first round in the NCAA tournament in overtime to Oregon State in Corvallis. Not an easy place to go. And they graduated a couple of key seniors. Marta Amita, remember her, so fun to watch, and Joyce Harrell, as the shot clock was winding down. And Hodgins was able to get a shot off, but no good. But a lot of familiar faces back for this Boise State team this year. There's the topside D. Again, Hodgins' hand in the passing lane. And Coleman out running.
That's just a run out right there. An over-the-top pass for an easy run out.
It's like Coleman says, okay, you guys steal it, and then I'm just going to take off. And then I will be there and just get it to me.
Here's what she says, and this is a real thing. Sometimes you have players that understand once the ball is turned over and they know their teammate has it, they'll leave. You know, they'll cheat and they'll go. And once they release, they're off. And if you've got a guard or somebody who can make that full court over the top pass, you're going to score on those runouts, and that's fun basketball.
Good move inside at the other end for Air Force. That was Riley Snyder. She's up to 7 points as Cassidy Huffman checks in, the redshirt junior out of Colorado Springs. Just her 15th game on the season. Hodgins, no good. Autry Thompson just running, continued to run, try to draw the charge. And she does. Brady Hodgins forces the 3rd personal now on Autry Thompson.
Chris Gobeck doesn't like it. She was so frustrated with that call. Her assistant coach is reminding her that she has 3 fouls, just like you mentioned. And that, you know, that's hustle right there. If anybody's going to take that type of a charge, Chris, it's going to be Hodgins, just the awareness and understanding. She didn't go where the player was going. She went to where the player was going to be, and that's how she picked up that call.
Tough break for the Falcons. Opportunity for Boise State to continue to be in control of this. And the tip on the sideline. Nimel says, but it went off you. I would have had it.
Is
Lisa
Caitlin
Jones.
Nimel like the most polite basketball player on the hardwood? I mean, there's a couple times she's gone over to Lisa Jones and she walks over and she holds the ball. And she's, did that really happen? Okay, yes, okay, yep, got it, thank you. Just so polite and just a nice little smile.
Yep, I like that. Foul on the interior with 3 on the shot clock. And it's on Winters, that's her 2nd. Give them 20 seconds again on the shot clock. Scoop up and a pretty finish. Brady Hodgins using her body so well.
Brody Presnell is on the sideline up off the bench, well out near half court, and he is just applauding his team because he realizes the effort that they are giving him. This is an excellent performance by the Broncos.
Hodgins, a first-team All-Mountain West member last year, and she was the Mountain West Championship MVP from a season ago. Playing like that again, a second opportunity, and they make him pay. Immel with the 3-ball.
I like that shot. She's your 2018, 2 years ago, Mountain West Frosh of the Year. Mountain West All-Frosh team, well-deserved. She was a mainstay in this program, just a junior.
Immel up to 11 points, double digits, but back at you, Christopher.
Wow, they don't stop.
So many different options that are getting involved for the Broncos.
Can't stop, won't stop, don't stop.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry is right. Thank you, next.
Broncos doing what they did to finish off the first half. The shot clock down to 3. Air Force got to get it up. And at the very last second, the foul call. And Cordy Presnell with his hands in the air. Tough to take. Free throws when we come back for Cassidy Huffman and the Air Force Falcons. .338 remaining in the third quarter between 2-seed Boise State and 7-seed Air Force. And it has been all Boise State for the majority of this quarter. Although it is, even as far as the score goes, it feels like it's been all Boise State. It was definitely Boise State in the second quarter, 23-7, but we're tied up 11-11 here in this one.
Still a very, very good lead for the Broncos. I mean, they'll take this one in the third quarter, only 3 minutes, 38 seconds, and they continue to pound the paint. Does Boise State 28 paint points. And I tell you, their fast break has been impressive as well. And the stat sheet says they have 16. I'm going to call out that they probably have 20 plus, depending on. And a lot of those paint points that I just talked about was 28. A lot of those coming from runouts.
Broncos have forced 16 turnovers. They've got 19 points off those turnovers as well. So they're being very productive as Huffman to the line. Gets both free throws, her first points of the ball game.
Just it was that second quarter where Boise State held Air Force to only 7 points. That hurt them again. We see teams losing one quarter and it's over. We saw UNLV, they only scored 7 in the third quarter in their game earlier.
Defense here by the Falcons. A trap, forcing the turnover. And a blocking foul as Riley Snyder was trying to hang on to it. They're going to give the personal to Hodgins. And that's just her first. Earlier, Jade Christopher picked up her third personal, and she's a key piece to the puzzle for Boise State as Chris Gobrick having a chat with Benny Luna. Benny nodding. Inside, Jones. And the ball out, and Broncos pick it up. Ellie Warner back in. Sierra Winters matched up with Brady Hodgins, trying to stay with her. Hodgins works so hard. She gives so much effort.
Winters just thought, I have turned and cut Hodgins enough. I have earned my place to not pick up a foul. I mean, that's a drill that you work on, turn and cut. A drill that I hated in college, by the way. It's hard to go side to side and keep players in front of you, especially speedy guards. Hard to keep Hodgins in front. When you work that hard, and at the very end, you get called for that whistle. When you feel like you've held your own, that can be really demoralizing for a defender.
That was the 5th team foul.
So we're already early.
Yeah,
that's
a lot of time left in this quarter.
Yep.
So free throws, 1 of 2 for Hodgins. On the shot clock. Oh, nice idea, but not enough on it. Looper right there. Great anticipation and read by Riley Looper. Coleman, she can hit those. Tipped around, stays with the Broncos.
Coleman's had just an incredible performance. 19 points coming in. Pretty close to another 20-point day. This would be her 4th straight if she does it.
Jade Lavelle in, trying to get some room. Gets the shot up and good. Averages 7 points per game, the sophomore. Her first points of this one.
Gordy Presnell really asking Jade Lavelle to score underneath the basket, wants her to drive, wants her to be a threat there. He doesn't want her to settle for the pull-up jumper. He knows she's effective underneath the basket. Percentages and shot chart will show it. He wants her to play where she is best.
Air Force trying to go high to low, can't get it done. The shot clock again winding down. The turnover sends it the other direction. Mallory McGuire will come back in for the Broncos. Coleman gets a breather. Gordy Presnell, he is up. He doesn't sit down much though.
No, he likes to sing, likes to roam the sideline.
Yep, he squat down a little bit here and there. Yep. Staff was up too as driving in Jade Lavelle. Gonna get to the line. Foul on Haley Jones, her second. Huffman will come out and Nikki McDonald back on, the freshman from Chicago.
Jade Lavelle is at the line chatting with the staff before, pound for pound, one of the strongest players on this Boise State team. Another reason why Gordy Presnell really calling for her to try to get to the rim. Knows that she can draw the foul and really can't be stopped. She is absolutely rock solid in terms of just her muscle. You just look at her stature and you think, I don't want to run into her. And she's just a solid build of muscle and tough player.
Out of state of Washington, her dad Derek, 8 years in the NFL, played with Seattle, San Francisco, and Denver. Air Force able to get it inside. A minute left. 9 points for Snyder now for Air Force. Lavelle, timing dribble and sticks it. Looks to her bench, says, I'm feeling it. I got the hot hand right now.
Pump fake, nice pump fake to get the defense in the air. Just that's a rhythm shot, using the dribble to give you a little bit of momentum, and that's a pretty jumper.
6 points for Lavelle. Arthur Thomas calling out the play. Looking for a screen, trying to get to Emmel. Emmel. Oh, finger roll is good. Hard work on that one, but she got it to go.
So good. Nice to see Emmel get rewarded. She's just a workhorse out there.
13 points. Kaylin Emmel. As the clock winds down, Lavelle, she'll take it. Wing jumper. Can't get it, and at the last second, Looper.
So Lavelle gonna get talked to. Why take that shot with the? Why not get a better shot in the last shot?
that'll do it for quarter number 3. 19-point lead for Boise State as we head into the 4th quarter.
The Mountain West Conference thanks
Back inside the Thomas & Mack Center, fans having a good time jamming to the tunes, and especially the Boise State fans. 2 seed up by 19.
I think the song that's playing here in the Thomas & Mack Center and their movement is from a famous movie that might have starred
You
Will
think?
Ferrell.
You think?
Yep. Can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. It was the Saturday Night Live skit, but
It is that too.
things just keep on going right for Boise State. Now McGuire getting involved behind the arc. Her first 3 of the game, she has 5 points. That's the way you want to come out. If you're Air Force, you got to come right back with one, and they do. Riley Snyder connects with the 3 ball, and she's in double digits. She has 12.
Gordy is probably going to ask Jade Lavelle to not shoot that jumper anymore. I think I mentioned this before. Really wants her to drive and shoot it closer to the rim. Wants her to get to the rim.
Great movement without the basketball. Emily Conroe, the junior, with the bucket. She had a solid game, double-double against Colorado State in yesterday's win over the 10 seed. Shot no good. Air Force looks to push.
Wire, who's only taken 4 shots in this game.
Long rebound. Haley Jones tries the putback, can't get it. Just got to get a little more composure on that one. Hodgins on the drive gets bumped by Autry Thompson. And she's frustrated. She doesn't agree.
Chuck Gonzalez, one of the officials, telling her to settle in a little bit.
4th personal on Autry Thompson. She is frustrated as Brady Hodgins goes to the line.
Talk about how hard it is and how demoralizing it can be, you know, throughout an entire game when you have to take on the task of, you know, moving side to side and turning and cutting a point guard that is as quick and can transfer her weight like Hodgins. It's not easy to do. And when you get called for the foul and you feel like you've held your position and you've done that, and at the very end you bailed them out. It's the 3rd time this has happened within the last 5 minutes of this game, and it's frustrating. I know this because I had quick guards on my team at San Diego State, and in practice we would do this drill, turn and cut. And I would get frustrated at Felicia and Lakeisha Wright because they would just, I would work so hard to keep them in front, and they just would, at the very end, they'd get the better of me.
Immel not giving up, banks it too hard. It's batted around, and it's Conroe to the court trying to not tie it up. And I believe they're going to call a jump ball. It's going to stay with Air Force. Hodgins with those free throws. She's got 12 points now. Coleman back out on the floor. She leads all scorers with 19.
I don't know if you saw Emily Conroe get up from being down on the hardwood.
Yeah,
She
frustrated.
Tough and frustrated. Tough, gritty kid.
The junior out of Fredericksburg, Virginia. Dad and aunt, part of the Army West Point grads. Her uncle, part of the Naval Academy. She's kind of got some military in the blood, doesn't she?
Seton Home Study program in Fairfax and homeschool sports. Very interesting story for Emily Conroe.
Yeah. There's Conroe using the screen.
Nice jump shot.
Can't get it, and McGuire hanging on to the rebound. 8 minutes left in the ball game. The winner of this one will await the winner of our next game as Coleman continues, loses her balance, but she adds to her total. She has 21 points.
And that's her 4th straight 20-point day, Krista. Coleman, who matched her career high with 22 points the last time out, had a 3rd straight 20-point day. That was just their last game versus UNLV. 2:24 before coming into this tournament. So congratulations, boy, those 20-point performances for Coleman. She also grabbed 10 rebounds for a double-double on that 2:24 February 24th game.
Immel to the line, misses the first free throw, fouled by Brady Hodgins. That's her 3rd personal. Gets the second. There's Riley Looper back in.
Good news for Air Force. Immel, Conroe, both juniors, coming back next year. Autry Thompson, sophomore, she'll be back.
Coleman on the drive. She gets fouled. She'll go to the line. Everybody that is on this team, if they want to come back, can come back.
They can.
No seniors with a foul on Haley Jones, her 3rd.
You give Nikki McDonald an opportunity at 5'11", the freshman. We've seen
Yeah.
quite a bit of her. And then Marlette, who I think is just, you know, excellent at being a tough matchup.
Yep.
Aaliyah Marlette, 5'9" freshman, tough, gritty kid. Like what I've seen from her play. Winters, another one. So you're right, this young roster. Yeah, and you would expect, you know, given the nature of how they're playing, the love of their game, and how they want to represent the academy, that most of them will come back.
Defense, creating offense. Coleman does not finish the layup. And just about everybody on the sideline for the Broncos had their hands on their heads after that one. But nonetheless,
Except Gordy Presnell.
she's got a new career high. Make or miss that one with 23 points. It had been 22. She could have added to it, obviously.
She's also done that in 26 minutes. She hasn't played more than 30. 26 minutes of play, she's laughing. She, you know, she was sort of bound to miss that one because she was laughing before. That might have been Coleman right there that caught up with her.
I think so.
But, you know, I have to tell you, Gordy Presnell, he gave a little smile on the sideline after he had his frustration.
Oh. And they call the carry on Jade Christopher. Got her with the carry. You don't see that one called very often.
Your hand goes under the ball, you're going to get called for the carry, and that's what happened. The minute your head slides down toward the underneath portion of that ball, that's a carry.
You're supposed to get called. I don't know if it always happens, but they got her there on that one, they did. Oh, trying to seal off was Haley Jones. It's tipped out. Good topside D with 12 on the shot clock. Nice cut into the lane. Autry Thompson gets the bucket.
Good inbound play. Good play call, I like that. Looking for the 5'5" guard, not the bigger, stronger player on the inbound underneath the basket.
Good spacing and good quick passing by the Broncos, and it leads to the open 3 ball for Jade Christopher.
My goodness, how many different players for Boise State will hit from that range and add to their point total.
Christopher. And the drive in by Autry Thompson. She'll get to the line. Just 2 points today in this one for Autry Thompson. She averages 9 a game as she gets that one. She's coming off the 15-point outing last night against Colorado State.
I know that a lot of the shots for Boise State have been around the rim, and those are much higher percentage shots, but they're shooting 50% in this game, and they're shooting 44 from long range. Big shout out to them. Again, dominating the paint at the half, dominating the outside game, and nothing has changed here as we are almost halfway through the fourth quarter.
Jade Christopher on the drive, too much on it, and it's knocked out. It's going to stay with the Broncos. What a game she's having. After earlier breaking the Mountain West single season record for assists, she's also got her 4th career double-double with 12 points, 10 assists. Two-point lead for the Broncos. Batted around into the hands of Christopher. Both of the games earlier in the season won by Boise State against Air Force, as there's a takeaway by Immel. She's going to push. Oh, almost a 3-point play. She'll get to the line. But the Broncos were up by 18 in one of those games. They were up big in both games, and Air Force was able to cut that down. And they only have 5 minutes to do it here in this one. And it's possible, but...
Yeah. First time these two teams met, 9-point loss for Air Force. And then a 5-point loss about an entire month later. It was quite some time before they saw each other again. Only 5 points, and that's when the Air Force really... Everybody started to see what they were really capable of doing. A team that... We already mentioned Chris Gobrecht saying we needed to get over the hump. I was always pleased statistically and never upset about how we were playing. It was just about getting there. One of the concerns coming in, though, today for Air Force was, in fact, the legs and the fitness of Air Force having played yesterday. And she knew that Boise State had not, and they were a little bit more rested.
Yeah.
And it's been a track meet. I mean,
sure
Boise State has just been running and running and running.
Oh, great hustle and effort by Immel and company, but they kick it out of bounds. It's going to stay with the Broncos. 4:48 remaining here in the fourth quarter. A 21-point lead for 2-seed Boise State. The fourth, 21-point lead for Boise State. Air Force has never led in this game. It has really been all Boise State.
Well, they have 4 players in double figures. They have 6 players who have scored. I still feel like it's more, but it's double figures. One of them, Coleman, who's got 23. Hodgins, Lufer, Christopher, 12, 11, 12 respectively.
They're getting out and running. They're getting it done inside. And they're forcing turnovers and getting points off the turnovers. And they're shooting the ball 49%. But when you're getting so much production inside, you got a very high percentage shot most of the time.
32 of their points in the paint. A lot of those we realize coming from runouts, but really clever moves and getting around the rim. Look at Coleman going for the offensive board. Never stop, even with this lead. 21-point lead, and Coleman's going after an O board.
10 on the shot clock. Jade Christopher. And Coleman says, take it. Mallory McGuire off the front of the rim, almost hit it. Hot potato.
We saw Mallory McGuire take that shot a lot when she played at Oregon before transferring to the Broncos.
And she swats that one into the hands of Hodgins. McGuire guarded by McDonald. Looking for Coleman, and they'll say, nope, lost the footing and the travel.
You know, speaking of Oregon and Mallory McGuire, who comes from Oregon as a transfer, she'll actually check out right now. Kelly Graves, the head coach of Oregon, who they are vying for a national championship this year. They'll be here in Vegas for the Pac-12 tournament. Good friends with Gordy Presnell. Very, very close type friends, and really big respect for one another.
Gordy Presnell up at Seattle Pacific for 18 seasons, and so they ran into each other so many years, as Kelly was at Gonzaga for a long time.
Yeah,
and
up in that Pacific Northwest is where they grew to be friends. And nice articles, and you see them commenting about the success of one another. Kelly's proud of Gordy. Gordy's so proud of Kelly Graves, and Gordy was happy to get a player like Mallory McGuire. Good fit.
Oh, absolutely. Missed by Haley Jones, but a long rebound, and they can't take advantage of the second chance.
Of course, Mallory McGuire's dad, Dan McGuire, an NFL QB. He actually played at San Diego State. When her dad was there at San Diego State with me on the football team, I was a basketball player. Dan and I were friends in college.
Her Uncle Mark, obviously, a lot of people know that name in the Major League Baseball. And then her mom, Morgan, she played at Santa Clara. Just
Mallory played AAU ball with Sabrina Ionescu.
Yeah.
The Cal Stars won a national championship in 2015. Imagine that, something with Sabrina in a national championship.
Yeah.
Sabrina Ionescu vying for the Naismith Player of the Year, likely to get it.
2.5 left in this one. And it looks as though 2-seed Boise State will be able to finish this off. But Air Force obviously not going to give up on it. Immel steps on the in line. It'll stay with the Broncos.
You can't fault the effort of Immel.
No, sure can't. She plays so hard.
Yep.
So does this entire Air Force team. They work so hard. Laya Soler, excuse me.
Laya. Krista.
Oh, I like that jumper. Lavelle. Oh, and trying to run too much on it. Turn it right back over. And Soler, this is just her 12th game on the season. The freshman out of Spain, 6'1". Good young talent, gonna get some minutes. The Broncos will await the winner of our final game tonight, coming up at 8:30, right here on the Mountain West Network. As Jones gets fouled, it's 3-seed Wyoming, 11-seed Utah State.
It's a surprise, Utah State, and absolutely no disrespect, but it's a surprise because it was historical. No 11 seed has ever won a game here in the tournament and advanced until last night. Utah State, congratulations with a win over the 6th seed San Diego State. We went to overtime. It took overtime for them. Utah State really grinding it out making some big plays and a little bit of luck with the San Diego State miss down the stretch.
Jones can't get the free throws. And this will be the 4th straight semifinal appearance by the Broncos. Soler thought about the jumper instead, got a little bit closer, long rebound, an opportunity to work some clock. Maggie Freeman out running the point, picked up by Immel. Clock down to 5, well outside the three-point arc, and short was Maggie Freeman, the redshirt freshman out of Beaverton, Oregon. Minute and a half left. Well, no seniors for this Air Force team. Will be interesting to see this group. I think a very good group and a hard-working Air Force Falcons team. It'll be interesting to see how many of them come back next year.
See a solid core of them come back.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, I mean, Immel, Conroy, they all understand what it means to be able to come back and commit. And I think that influence is going to pay huge dividends by those players, those leaders on the younger Falcon squad.
Yep, I certainly hope so.
Imagine what they've accomplished this year, what they can do next year with another year of experience under their belt.
And for Boise State, they'll go to 22-9 on the season. It's the 7th season for Gordy Presnell, 5 of the last 6 and 4 in a row, where he's had 20-plus wins. Really impressive, the consistency that he is starting to build in his 15th year at Boise State.
That's why he is honored and decorated as he is as a head coach. Lavelle just likes to shoot the ball. That's just.
She's a shooter.
Yep, she's shooter mentality.
Nothing wrong with that, most of the time. As long as you have the green light. It's a problem if you don't.
Yes, red light, yellow light, green light.
Air Force just keeps on coming.
A little too short today for them, but it was a great run and certainly a wonderful year for the Air Force Falcons. A lot to build on. Meanwhile, Boise State will advance. Krista, it's going to be a great one tomorrow because they're going to face the winner of Wyoming-Utah State in the night session.
Jones keeps it alive. Immel finishes with 15, and Snyder trying to add to her 14, but can't. And that should do it. 4th straight. +18 point victory for Boise State. Longest of the season, longest streak. And they head to the semifinals tomorrow night. They'll have to wait and see who they'll face between Wyoming and Utah State. As you take a look at the bracket, this is how they got here. Our first semifinal tomorrow night will be at 6 o'clock. 1 seed Fresno State, 4 seed San Jose State, and now 2 seed Boise State. Waiting to find out who are they going to face.
Congratulations to the Broncos. You know, this was a team that came out running and gunning, and they didn't stop. They had their foot on the gas pedal the entire 60 minutes. They're very difficult to guard. They have balance and depth. I love the way they share the ball. They come pretty well coached by Gordy Presnell. Again, congrats.
Jesse and Bridget have our post-game following this. We'll see you for the next game.